Well, I've done it. Well, almost done it anyway. I've finally got rid of my annual Ring subscription and replaced all of my external security cameras with Reolink products. Full disclosure here, Reolink did send me some cameras to review for other videos, but this is not a sponsored video and I'll talk more about that later. Anyway, let me show you what I've changed. So if you've been following this channel recently, then you'll know that this year I have been on a mission to replace my Ring cameras so as I can get rid of their £8 a month subscription. Ring cameras do not have an option of local recording at all, so if you want them to work properly, you really are forced into paying for the subscription. For a replacement solution, I had a few requirements. Ideally, I wanted all products to be from a single manufacturer, so I'd have one ecosystem and one app, which would make it nice and simple for me and my family to use. There must be a wide variety of products available, such as a doorbell or fully wireless battery-powered cameras for those places where I can't get power to. If they can be solar powered, then that's even better, but I also want wired cameras for some places so as I don't have to worry about batteries running out, and if they can have spotlights on, then that's also a bonus. I want local storage of video files, local in my own home and not requiring a subscription fee for cloud storage. I don't mind if there is a cloud subscription available as an option, just so long as it is only an option and local storage is included for no extra ongoing costs. I want centralized storage too, like an NVR or network video recorder, so as all my video footage is in one place and I don't have to put SD cards in every single device separately. And finally, I want the system to integrate nicely with Home Assistant. At a bare minimum, I want things like doorbell, ring alerts and motion alerts in Home Assistant, so as I can trigger automation based on those events. If I can control the cameras too, like moving the angle of a pan tilt camera, then that would be even better. So far this year I have looked at a number of products from various companies. Of course, you know I've already looked at a number of Reolink cameras, but I have also looked at an EasyViz camera, a SwitchBot pan tilt camera and also a Eufy camera, which I haven't actually made a video about yet, but I will do that later this year. So why have I not chosen those other brands then? Well, let's start with Eufy, because that was actually the first camera I purchased myself to try out. It's an indoor pan tilt camera with dual lenses and it came with a base station to store your recorded footage on. The quality of the images from the Eufy camera is very good. The speed of the pan tilt motor is very fast and quiet, and Eufy have all the different product types I could ever need, from doorbells to floodlights to solar cameras. So why didn't I go with them if I'd already invested in a camera and a base station? Well, Eufy have locked their ecosystem down and it doesn't play well with Home Assistant. I put that Eufy camera in my garage to replace an old Foscam one, with the idea that by default it points at the back door, but if the garage door opened I would use an automation to pan it around and watch that part of the garage instead. I can't do that with the Eufy camera and that is really annoying. So what about SwitchBot then? Why not them? Well, even more reasons. The little pan tilt camera was easy to set up, but there was no option for centralized storage. There was limited products available, so no doorbell at all yet, and no Home Assistant support. SwitchBot have a great track record with their other gadgets and only seem to be dabbling in the world of cameras at the moment, so I reckon that they'll get the hang of it in a year's time and have a great lineup, but right at this moment they don't meet my needs. On to EasyViz then. This is a great camera, very solid with high quality images and lots of features including Home Assistant compatibility. They have a brilliant range of products too, with some quite innovative designs. But they are let down by their lack of consumer NVR solution, so you have to put SD cards into each camera individually. So I've chosen Reolink then, so let's take a look at the cameras that I've got. Starting with the doorbell, I've replaced my Ring Pro doorbell with the Reolink wired Wi-Fi doorbell. I had existing wiring there anyway, so it made sense to have a mains powered one instead of a battery powered one. At the front of my house, I've replaced my Ring Stick-Up Cam Pro with a Reolink CX810. This is a wired power over Ethernet camera, just like the Ring one was, so it was just a case of using the same cable as before. Moving to the back garden now, and I've got the Argus 4 Pro attached to my shed. This is a battery powered camera, but it comes with a solar panel and so far it appears to keep itself fully charged. I have the solar panel angled south and it gets sun for a good couple of hours every day. And then we have the final piece of the puzzle, something to replace my Ring floodlight cam. Now Reolink do have a floodlight camera, but I'm trying out something a bit different. I'm going to put up their new TrackMix wired Wi-Fi camera instead. This is a mains powered camera with Wi-Fi support, hence those big aerials on the side, although you can plug a network cable in if you want to, but if you want power over Ethernet then they sell a different model for that. You'll notice it's also got a fancy pan tilt head on it, but look closer and you'll see two camera lenses. Now these dual lenses are why I think this camera is going to actually be a very good replacement for my old floodlight camera. You see, it's still got spotlight LEDs on it so it can light up my garden. It almost certainly won't be as bright as the floodlight was, but I'll be honest here, the Ring floodlight was broken anyway. When you look at the TrackMix video feed in the app, you'll see two separate feeds. The top one is a nice wide angle view which actually rivals most of the other fixed position cameras. I think it's about 100 degrees. On the bottom is a dynamic zoom view. So what is a dynamic zoom view? Well, it's basically magic. I have the camera's tracking method set to digital tracking first. Now what this does is when it detects motion, that dynamic view will zoom in on that object using a mixture of optical and digital image stitching and then track the object as it moves around. If the object moves outside of the field of view of the wide angle image, then the camera will physically pan to track it. I've then got it set to return to a default position after a while when motion has stopped. The reason I think this is going to be useful is because we get a lot of cats in our back garden. Sometimes they're ours, sometimes they're not, but when you hear them fighting outside, it can be useful to be able to see which cats are involved. The Ring camera just had a wide angle view of everything and you couldn't really see any detail at the end of the garden when you zoomed in. But this camera should be able to zoom in on the cats and let me see the whole garden in the main view at the same time. That's the theory anyway. Right, now this is a pan tilt camera, so I'm legally obliged to do the dad dance test. This time though, I've got a special guest to help me out. So because the main lens has such a wide angle, it doesn't actually need to physically move around that much to track me. Most of the work is done by the digital tracking view. This is one of those features that looks like it has a lot of potential to be useful, but I won't really know for sure until I've installed the camera outside and used it properly for a few months. So the big question then is, why have I chosen Reolink? Well, let's get the first reason out of the way. Reolink sent me a whole bunch of cameras to review, so the fact that I haven't paid for most of these is likely to have swayed my judgment. I can't deny that, but as I said at the beginning, I have tested a lot of cameras from other brands and Reolink have just been the best all-rounder. If we go back to my requirements, Reolink meet them all. I have a single app for all of the cameras and the doorbell, and yes, it's not as easy to use as Ring's app, but nobody else has an app as easy to use as Ring. Reolink's app is perfectly fine though and fully functional. Reolink have a camera for every occasion. Want a wired doorbell? They've got that. Want a wireless one? They have that too. Need a floodlight camera or a solar powered camera? They have them all. You don't need a subscription either to store your video footage, although the option for cloud storage is there if you want it. With the Home Hub, you can keep all of your footage nice and safe inside your home. And every single possible feature of each camera is exposed to Home Assistant. You can view the live feeds, control the cameras, or change any setting you like. So look, I know Reolink cameras aren't perfect. I really don't like their colour night vision, for example. I much prefer infrared LEDs for black and white night vision, and I wish they'd put those on the Argus 4 Pro because that would have made it so much better. I'm also not convinced by the dual cameras thing, stitching them together to get one long wide view. I think two separate video streams with a taller field of view would have been better. But these are small compromises for what is a great overall camera ecosystem. So what's next then? Well, I have to go outside and install the TrackMix there so as I can test this in real life. If I decide to put a floodlight camera in instead, then I'll let you know, but I want to give this product a chance. Oh, and that's just the outdoor cameras. I also want to replace the funky robot head Eufy camera that I've got in my garage. Anyway, I hope you found this useful. If you did, then please give the video a like and make sure you've subscribed to my channel for free to see more from me. These people here are my amazing channel members, and a massive thank you to them for supporting the channel. If you'd like to support the channel by becoming a member too and get perks like early access to my videos and some members only exclusive content, then check out the link in the description. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.